first day of spring practice. Florida State fans have been waiting for this one. Nole Insiders Lane Hurt and Tim Linnefeld here with you. Nole's on the practice field for the first time since the Orange Bowl. Fans are excited about this one, of course. Tim, thoughts on just the first day of practice in general?
Well, you know, it's a really pretty day. It's just a kind of a good day to get out there. It seems like the timing's right. You know, the Orange Bowl is firmly in the rearview mirror not too terribly long ago, and it just seemed like a kind of a good buzz. Jimbo Fisher said during his press conference today that he feels the team is much further along at this point than it was a year ago, and I think a lot of coaches probably like to say that. But, you know, if you remember, Jimbo's usually been pretty honest about that. I remember the first day of spring a year ago, and he was not happy at all. A lot of guys were really upset with the way the team came out, and so we'll see how things go as it moves forward. But at least so far, it seems like Jimbo Fisher feels like the team is in a much better place at this time of year than it was at this time last year.
A lot of that might have to do with some tweaks to the fourth quarter drills. Coach Fisher said if you were great and did everything perfectly, you wore a garnet jersey. If you maybe sloughed off on a couple of things, you wore a white jersey. And if you weren't up to snuff at all, an orange jersey. And guys seem to really respond to that, at least according to Fisher.
I wonder where they came in on that orange jersey. We'll have to ponder that a little bit. But no, it's a good thing. And, you know, kind of the point he made, and I think he's absolutely right, is that it makes you accountable to the entire team. You know, if you walk out there wearing an orange jersey, everybody knows what it's there for, as opposed to maybe before, if you were having issues with effort or whatever the case may be, somebody could pull you aside, you know, have a private conversation. And I think that's, you know, there's merit to that as well. But for whatever reason, Jimbo Fisher thought that the public accountability was the best way to serve this team, and it sounds like what he was saying that those guys responded. It's estimated by the end of practice that 85 to 90% of guys were wearing their garnet jerseys, everybody else in white. They didn't have any orange jerseys by the end of fourth quarter drills, and thank goodness for that.
Well, a couple injury notes as Florida State begins spring practice. Alec Eberle out, Tavares McFadden, Marcus Lewis out. Also, Wilson Bell has transferred. I left a couple of those things out, but what jumps out to you, and what some areas where some young guys are really going to get some opportunities?
Well, I think you kind of alluded to one at the cornerback position. So between Marquez White is gone, he's off in the NFL Combine this weekend. Now Tavares McFadden and Marcus Lewis are both out. That leaves a lot of blank space out on the cornerback depth chart for the next few weeks in spring. And so there's going to be a lot of guys that have an opportunity to make an impact there. Jimbo Fisher reeled off a laundry list of guys who are going to have an opportunity to make some plays. Levante Taylor, the former highly touted quarterback from last year's freshman class, now with an opportunity to maybe make some headway and maybe steal would be the word, but take hold of the pole position for one of those starting jobs. Also on the offensive line, you mentioned Alec Eberle is out, so that means your center position, you're going to have some new guys there. Landon Dickerson is still nursing that knee injury that he suffered toward the end of last year, so you're going to have a guard position open. A lot of guys are going to have an opportunity to get some extended reps this spring, and that's a really good thing. You know, for when it comes to players like some of those guys like Tavares McFadden or Alec Eberle, like, you know what those guys can do. You know what you're getting out of them. So I don't think you're hurt too bad by them not being available, and it gives you an opportunity for a second teamer to become a first teamer, a third teamer to become a second teamer, and so on. And if those guys can become more experienced and get some more reps, Florida State will probably be the better for it this fall.
Finally, 7 early enrollees have gotten their first taste of practice at Florida State. A great opportunity for young guys to get their feet wet, maybe get a little jump on fall practice. Plus, Fisher said he's liked what he's seen from those guys as going to classes, managing themselves on the college campus. Says didn't make a mistake with any of them.
Yeah, exactly right. You know, we saw Cam Akers popped into the Players Lounge where we held Jimbo Fisher's press conference earlier today, and just looking at him, he looks like a guy who he looks like a college football player, and they all do. I understand that, and you roll your eyes when you hear it, but it's just true. I don't know what else to say. He looks the part. You saw Bailey Hockman throwing a little bit there, the quarterback, the first left-handed quarterback at Florida State in a handful of years. Always kind of is jarring at first when you see that. So a good thing for these guys, and you know, sometimes in the past you always wonder, are they going to be able to get acclimated? The cliche goes that these guys should be on spring break or preparing for their high school prom or whatever. The fact that it sounds like they've been getting involved with their teammates, doing well in school and everything. It's a good thing for Florida State. Says if like Jimbo Fisher said, I think a few weeks ago, it's almost like another fall camp for these guys, and so you almost come in with a whole extra set of practices on your belt in the fall, and that's a good thing.
There you have it, Seminole fans. Spring practice has begun, and of course we'll have all your coverage you need all spring long as Florida State gets ready for that Garnet and Gold game on April the 8th. course, it's right here back at Doak Campbell Stadium. Tickets for that, $5. Great deal. Make sure you get out and support your Noles. For Tim, I'm Lane. Go Noles.